Beauty Spy War Episode 28 opening. In the last episode, Episode 27, a shocking truth was revealed. In the NIS code decryption room, the USB that black agents risked their lives to retrieve from Dandong contained high-level North Korean directives, orders to infiltrate South Korea's military and government core, reports confirming successful penetration of the NIS, real names of Blue House and National Assembly figures, and assassination orders targeting NIS agents. Call sign Jang Eun-young. Successful infiltration of the National Intelligence Service. Beside the name appeared a photograph. It was Sang-wook. This is Sang-wook, the son of the eel restaurant owner near Yeongdo Bridge, right? The same Sang-wook that Jun-tae and Dae-beom knew personally. He was connected to a North Korean espionage lineage. First thing, we make sure the target doesn't know. We're onto him. Right. Let's turn this around and use it against them. And now, Episode 28. The investigation continues, but secrecy must be maintained. Is Jang Eun-young really a woman? Or is it a disguised identity? Director Kim Beom-jun and director Jin-woo. What is the common thread connecting these two men? And then, a mysterious phone call to the director. Do you know what you did in that freezing, extreme region? An extreme region. The Arctic? Russia? Alaska? What happened there? The conference room door bursts open. A memo is delivered. We have intelligence indicating another assassination threat against one of our agents. Beauty Spy War, Episode 28. Assassination warning. It begins now. Episode 28. An assassination warning. Senior Kong, proceed with the investigation, but for now, keep everything under wraps. I have a plan. I understand. But I can't hold back forever. You know the saying, the busier you are, the more carefully you should move. Once we know that bastard is involved, this won't be resolved gently. I know. Let's try looking at it from a different angle. Let's seriously reassess this investigation, what we might be missing, and what needs to be reinforced. Look at this. It says that someone with the call sign Jang Eun-young has successfully infiltrated the National Intelligence Service. Is that really credible? There are plenty of female agents in the NIS. And honestly, we don't even know whether that name refers to a woman or a man. It could be a trick. If it's real, though, if someone actually managed to infiltrate an intelligence agency, they'd be under heavy protection. Of course. They'd protect them at all costs. Or maybe they deliberately used a female name to disguise the identity and protect the operative. That's possible. Let's examine it carefully, step by step. This won't be an easy fight. My head's spinning. The problems aren't getting solved, yet the incidents keep piling up. What's the common denominator between director Kim Beom-jun and director Jin-woo? Yeah, what is it? We're all part of the same intelligence service. But even we have zero information about what projects they worked on, or what operations they were involved in. So what kind of project could connect them both? Or maybe who is the common enemy that would want both of them dead? After retirement, they both worked at a biometric security firm. It doesn't seem likely they'd share a personal grudge, serious enough to justify this. Right. I've only heard that they lived upright, honorable lives. This isn't some mom and pop shop we're running. The NIS handles countless projects, many of them covert. We need to identify the common thread first. A common thread? If only those two were involved. Finding the project will be extremely difficult. True. But if 3 or more people were involved, the scope narrows. And if there are still people connected to it, then those remaining agents are in serious danger. I agree. Which means there are likely more targets. And if that's the case, the surviving personnel are already exposed. Exactly. Let's re-establish the kind of instinct-based investigation that Detective Ma always emphasized. Dae-beom nodded silently. Jun-tae leaned in and whispered their next steps directly into Dae-beom's ear. They spread out the case files, incidents that had never fully made sense. No matter how secretive and concealed this world was, finding traces and clues felt nearly impossible. Like searching for diamonds in a desert. The battle of wits between those hunting and those being hunted did not seem likely to end easily. For once, Jun-tae came home early. What's going on? You're home this early? Yeah, it just turned out that way. You could have at least called. Why do you even carry a phone? Why aren't you answering? I'm talking to you. It's not that I've got a headache. I just want to rest. Shouldn't you go to the hospital? Want some headache medicine? No, I'll be fine if I rest for a bit. How's your stomach? It's fine. I'm just exhausted. I'll lie down in the study for a while. Yeah, that makes sense. Working late every night, weekends too, your body needs a break. I knew it. It's not like that. What do you mean, it's not? What kind of company squeezes people dry like that, without even paying them properly? Jun-tae said nothing and walked into the study. He looks pale. Anyone would think he hasn't eaten properly. Lazy mouth, no energy either. Mom, Dad, what's wrong? Even Seong-hyeon sensed that something was off about his father. I don't know. Your dad used to be so gentle, always chatting warmly about little things. These days my heart doesn't flutter anymore. Does your heart have to flutter? No, why am I saying nonsense to a kid? Song-hyun, go do your homework. Yeong-young watched Jun-tae's troubled face with concern. The atmosphere was completely different from usual. Seeing the worry etched into his face made her uneasy. Inside the study, Jun-tae leaned back in his chair. Like flipping through faded photographs, memories from childhood, with Sang-wook and his brothers came flooding back. As a child, Jun-tae had been inseparable from Sang-wook's older brother, Jung-ik. They played together until dusk after school. Once, he visited Jung-uk's house, a childhood friend's home. Behind the house was a bamboo grove, and hidden within it, a natural cave. Unless you were family, it was hard to even find the entrance. Inside that cave, Jun-tae shouted together with Jung-ik and Sang-wook. The echoes bouncing back were endlessly fascinating. "Hey, idiot! Dumb dog! You blockhead, Jung-ik! You moron, Jun-tae!" Childish insults, but at that age, they were considered quick-witted. Flap. Startled by the noise, bats, hanging upside down from the cave ceiling, took flight. Whoosh! One brushed past Jun-tae's forehead. He rubbed it instinctively. "Whoa! Did you see that? It hit my forehead. Then you're a golden bat now." "A golden bat? A golden bat? Really?" They chased the bats deeper into the cave. Further in, the cave opened into a surprisingly wide space. There, more than a dozen anchovy jet jars were fermenting. Jun-tae tripped over one, splashing briny liquid onto his clothes. Faint yet vivid memories, simple, joyful moments. From deeper inside the cave, Sang-wook's mother emerged, carrying a jar on her head. "You little rascals! I told you not to run in here." "Sang-wook, look at them, can't understand a word I say," she shouted, waving her hands to stop them from running. "Mom, is it ready yet?" "It's ready. Just wait a little longer." At Sang-wook's family eel restaurant, near Yeongdo Bridge, eels grilled over charcoal crackled and sizzled. She brought out the skewers, perfectly cooked. She placed a piece gently into Jun-tae's mouth. "Our Jun-tae so young, yet so proper. Don't fight with Jung-ik. Get along, all right?" "Yes, ma'am." Her warm scolding and caring words lingered. Jung-ik dipped an eel into spicy sauce, and shoved it into Jun-tae's mouth, then smeared sauce on his cheek and ran. Jun-tae chased after him. Beside them, young Sang-wook and his mother laughed brightly. It had been such a peaceful, affectionate scene. And yet, Director Cho took a deep breath in front of the Director General's office. Secretary Oh greeted him warmly. "The Director General has been asking for you." "Yes. He's waiting for you now." Director Cho, What would you like to drink? I liked the hot Americano you made for me last time. I'll have that again. You mean the Jamaica Blue Mountain? Very well. I'll prepare it right away. Knock, knock. Director Cho knocked and entered the office. You asked to see me, Director General? Ah, Director Cho. Come in. How is the investigation into the assassination of the former NIS agents progressing? Isn't this taking too long? The police and our agents are conducting the investigation from every possible angle. Every possible angle? From where I stand, this isn't the kind of situation that allows for delays. Yes. Since 2 former intelligence officers were killed, the Investigation Bureau is carefully piecing together multiple elements. We are treating it not as a simple death, but as terrorism or an assassination. Piecing together elements? We are currently pursuing a multi-layered investigation to identify clues and leads. Today, I received a strange phone call. A strange phone call? A warning call. From an untraceable line. A warning? What kind of warning? They said what has happened so far was just a preview. That the real game is about to begin, and if we think we can stop it, we should try. What do they want? What's their motive? How would I know? I'm not even a former intelligence officer myself. I was appointed from outside. But there must be a reason. A grudge, perhaps? He suddenly asked if I knew what had been done in a region of extreme cold. So you told him you didn't know what happened in that frozen region. I only know that it's connected, somehow, to our intelligence personnel. Extreme cold? Are we talking about the Arctic? I don't know enough to answer carelessly. Could it be related to oil reserves buried in the Arctic? Or tensions involving neighboring countries? That's exactly what I'm curious about. Were you able to identify the caller's number? It was blocked. They ended the call with precise timing, as if calculated to avoid tracking. I'll have the Investigation Bureau reassess the direction of the case. Make sure you do. I'm counting on you, Director Cho. Yes. I will restart the investigation from square one. Director Cho bowed his head and walked slowly down the corridor. A small conference room inside the Investigation Bureau. Director Cho watched the beam projector in silence, fully focused. Park Soo-ho began briefing the team on the progress of the investigation so far. He first displayed a police sketch sent from the National Police Agency. This is a composite sketch of a suspect known as Hai, a man reported to be speaking with a North Korean accent in the Yongsan Red Light District. His name is Hai. Yes. According to Yoon-kyung, a woman who had sexual contact with him, when she asked his name, he replied, hi, and said in a North Korean dialect, "You look like my mother." Does he have that straight horizontal wrinkle on his forehead? Yes. A prominent horizontal crease. In physiognomy, that kind of wrinkle is sometimes associated with violent criminals who commit major incidents. The face looks ordinary enough. That's correct. People tend to assume murderers must look vicious, but that's not always the case. Ordinary? Yes. Often they appear like average neighbors, polite, friendly, well-mannered. So, the kind of middle-aged men you see everywhere? Exactly. In some cases, they're even civil servants or schoolteachers. I see, but this is highly classified. We can't investigate it openly. Dae-beom interjected mid-conversation. Director, what do you mean? Is this related to what the Director General mentioned? He said someone suddenly asked him if he knew what had been done in a region of extreme cold. What does that imply? All he said was that he received an untraceable phone call. And? They brought up that exact phrase out of nowhere. Extreme cold, the Arctic? Russia? Northern Europe? Alaska? There are countless possibilities. That's the problem. Nothing clicks immediately. I don't know every project we've ever run. Who could have made that call? It sounds like someone with a grudge against the NIS. Team leader Jun-tae asked, fanning himself with a stack of documents, as if intrigued. Our agents have operated in countless countries in service of national interests. As the saying goes, a tree with many branches never knows a calm wind. Conflicts are bound to happen somewhere. So there must be a causal link. If that was just a preview, then another victim could appear soon. That's right. But we can't stop it unless we know what we're dealing with. Dae-beom nodded in agreement with Jun-tae. Director Cho nodded slowly, clearly turning something over in his mind. What approach should we take? First, we should identify former agents who were involved in particularly high-risk operations. We need to compile a list and protect them from potential attacks. That won't be easy. How many people do you think handled dangerous assignments? Then we should start with senior-level personnel. Why? Because both victims were former NIS directors or bureau chiefs. True. That narrows it down. And we can exclude those who served primarily in warmer regions: Southeast Asia, South America, Africa. All right. Let's proceed that way. Though many overseas operatives remain stationed abroad, so the numbers won't shrink dramatically. This involves highly sensitive personal intelligence. Cooperation may be difficult. I see. I was only thinking from the investigation bureau's perspective. Some of them may be black agents. I'll request cooperation from that division's director. Let's proceed only as far as they allow." At that moment, an agent rushed into the conference room. He handed a memo to Dae-beom, the investigation team leader. "What is it? What happened? We've received intelligence indicating another assassination threat." "Another assassination threat? Against whom? Who's the next target?" Beauty Spy War Episode 28 ending. Episode 28 ends here. Jun-tae returned home early, haunted by memories. Childhood days in the cave behind Sang-wook's house. The taste of grilled eel at Yeongdo Bridge. Sang-wook's mother's warm smile. But now, everything has changed. The director received an untraceable call. "Do you know what you did in that freezing, extreme region?" A new suspect emerged, high. A man with a distinctive forehead crease who speaks North Korean dialect. And then, urgent intelligence arrived. "We have information about another assassination threat. Who is the next target?" Beauty Spy War is based on Scorpio, a finalist in the second Proud Korean Screenplay competition. Please subscribe and like if you enjoyed today's episode. This has been Beauty Spy War, Episode 28. Thank you for listening.